Alrighty, we are back with some Showmaker Lucian gameplay. Now, Showmaker is someone that actually plays an absolute ton of Lucian, and he is absolutely one of the best at it, from what I can tell, who still plays it in the highest levels of Korean solo queue. And it looks like we're going to get an invade early on, which is not likely to happen in your guys' games. But that's okay. It's not going to do, or it's not going to amount to much here. He's just going to get out. We're going to expend some summoners. And it is what it is at the present moment. Yeah, we're just going to do some random stuff. It's whatever. So all of this is really not that important. We're just going to go ahead and get over to the start of laning phase, where we have Lucian versus Victor. In this matchup, it's pretty simple. We're basically going to try to harass Victor because he cannot do... Oh, sorry. We're basically going to want to harass Victor because he has very skill shot based, or he could start Q. Depending on what he starts, we may start Q or E. We could also choose to start Q if we want to shove the wave in early. There's plenty of options that can work with Victor. His main harass tool with his E is very bad versus us because it's a straight laser, and we will be able to E it and dodge it in certain directions. So that also isn't going to work so well. So overall, we are going to be able to harass the Victor, get him under his lane most likely, or we can even choose to freeze it under our turret. I haven't actually watched this gameplay yet, so I have no idea how Showmaker actually likes to play Lucian. But let's go ahead and find out together exactly how he's going to most likely dominate this matchup. So early on here, you're going to see him take some... Well, not take some, but he's going to choose to start poking down this, which seems to be very viable. He takes Q for the full harass here. That's completely fine. So because Victor took Q and Q'd him, as you saw, he didn't have any skills in his tree here. Wait, did he? Sorry. Yeah, as you can see, he doesn't choose the level right away. So he waits. He takes Q finally because he's looking to harass now. And he waited because if Victor started E, he would dodge with his E and harass him that way. I am pretty sure. So now he's just trying to Q through this minion in some direction, wherever he decides to move, to try to hit him and then start pushing probably this minion. So all of this is pretty important for a matchup like this where, like usual, it is a control mage versus Lucian. And this is generally how control mage versus Lucian goes. Anyways, Victor ends up giving him the trade he wants, so he does what he wants. He'll start harassing, or not harassing, he'll start shoving in slowly but surely. Trying to pierce through here. Sadly, our VOD doesn't show if he hit it. And it looks like he did. And we're going to just slowly shove. We're going to build up the second wave that's incoming right here against this and shove all of this in, most likely. And then we're going to look for harass or get our wards down to keep us safe. Ooh, he gets the level 2 poke in. And it's really important when you play Lucian to get these early trades in, or early poke in. As you saw there, it just gave him a bit more of a lead, and for the most part, we need early advantages when we play this champion. So, with the time he was given, he chooses to ward. That sounds completely fine. He's going to reshove here and continue to look to poke in. He doesn't manage to get hit by the E, and now the Victor's on cooldown for a bit, and he's got a level up. He's looking to hit him with the level up, and he gets the Q poke. Oh my. And he gets the autos off. Oh my goodness. So like I've been saying in other videos, it's really important to just get all your harass in. It's really important, but well, not even I, because I'm not that good at this champion overall in comparison to this man. But it's so important to be playing exactly like he is, getting all this harass in and making him feel your presence, feel your harass, feel why you have the dominance in the lane. It's absolutely extremely important. And right here, he actually takes this E, but these minions actually, I believe, are low enough to get one-shot by the turret. So now, as they're going, he's actually going to potentially deny 3 CS, which is, again, absolutely ridiculous that he actually might be getting that off as well and getting a gold lead on top of everything else he's doing. Of course, that is more of the Victor's mess up, but yeah. So I'm not going to be able to see, but it's okay. So he's going to try back here and get an item advantage for free. He believes the victor can't push in time, which I'm going to be inclined to believe Showmaker and believe that he is correct on this. And yeah. Oh, he has TP, so this is part of why he does it. Yeah, he definitely can't shove in time if he has TP. So with TP, he's able to come back in lane with an item advantage, and he's going to slowly freeze this wave on him, most likely. Yep, he's threatening harass out the entire time. The victor can't do a ton about it, because if he gets forced out of lane, then he's not going to be able to do much. And this is just a different form of pressure that we haven't seen in other gameplays. So he's looking to poke him a little more. Right now, it doesn't matter if he pokes him and forces him out of lane. Oh, this is really bad for him, though. He's going to get out, though. He's okay. And once again, he's getting the harass on the Nidalee, too, which means quite possibly, at some point here, it could be really bad. And this is likely not going to happen in your guys' games. The Nidalees might gank, or someone might come over and gank, but from my experience, they don't even like to come through these corridors for whatever reason if they're the enemy jungler, or your own jungler, to be honest. Usually they'll come through the normal path. But what's important here is that he's going to live, and he actually is stopping this from happening. And the Nidalee is coming in to try to break this wave up to save the victor from being absolutely destroyed in this lane. And in most cases, your opponents are not going to come and save you from this sort of thing. Or, sorry, from this sort of thing. And what's happening here is, because there's less minions on his side, and there's more minions on the victor side over here, what's going to happen is, usually, our Lucian over here would decide to start killing off some amount of minions to leave a specific amount that he can keep stuck right in front of his turret here, but out of the range of the turret. And by doing so, this isn't a proper range of the turret. The turret goes like all the way out to here almost, but what's important is the fact that he would stop the minion wave right about here and maybe a little closer, denying the victor even more because the Lucian would be able to run him down because he'd have all his health, or force him out of lane, and then these creeps would destroy his creeps, which creates an XP and the gold lead, which in turn makes Lucian winning and makes Lucian do exactly what his goals are in the lane. So absolutely all of this is completely vital to what you're doing. These are more advanced concepts, but you will need them the higher you decide to climb. And yeah, that's why the Nidalee has come in to break this up to save the Hair Victor. Alright, let's go ahead and continue. Sorry about that. So he's looking actually for the pot shots on the Nidalee here. Because like in our last video with the Kayn example, now Nidalee is really low, and he's setting it up for his jungler, who's the Lilia, who is actually coming in one of these two directions down here. And likely she's going to come this way and go right for her, or maybe cut her off depending on how Lucian plays it. But yeah, they're looking for this Nidalee, and we're going to see how this goes. Maybe even the victor. Let's go ahead and get back to it. So he's still looking to freeze here, as I was mentioning earlier. And the Lucian is going to get soloed, and the Lily is going to get the Nidalee. And all of this is set up by Showmaker's immaculate early game. The man just absolutely massacred this lane already. And once again, we see the power of Lucian once again, but this time more against control mages. He's going to go ahead and shove in. This lane is essentially over now, to be honest. But we will see. He's going to go back. He buys the coal and some... Ooh, he buys Null and he buys this. Most likely to win even harder in lane. As he... Sorry. I'll go back. Sorry. So we get into lane. Victor's right here. He's trying to get stuff. And Lucian's just going to run him back. And he's going to win this trade any day of the week. As the Victor's essentially inting here. You should never take a trade here. He's level 6. Like, 6 to 5 is easy counting, you know? This is pretty easy counting. So, even if the Victor wanted to keep fighting, he already has more base stats. He's also AD. He also has more spells and his passive. Like, There's absolutely no reason to do what the Victor's doing here, in my opinion. And yeah, this is going to pretty much be rinse-repeat here. But we'll go ahead and show a rinse-repeat. Because why not? I have no idea how this game goes again, but... you know, I can assume. And he gets the Q off, he chunks him here. He gets him here, he's going to ult him. And he forces the flash out, and the Victor right back into him. What the hell? This shouldn't happen either. I don't even think plat players are this bad usually. That's really weird. I think the Victor's just tilted off the face of the planet already. So Victor, or not Victor, sorry, Victor has cleanse for some odd reason. There's going to be a TP back. I assume the Lucian's just going to start poking in or shoving in. He's backing off. The Narn might actually be able to get him, yeah. So he's got to back off and be careful. Ooh, big chunk. Big damage. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. We'll see if there's another rinse repeat here in just a second. He comes back to this wave state, which is fine. So the way he backed also made it set up so he doesn't missing many creeps, which is really good. He's going to just start clearing it back and slow pushing it back most likely, keeping the lane. The concept of slow pushing, in case anyone does not know, essentially we're going to slowly build up our minion waves to slowly go back towards them. And because it's stuck on this side of the lane, and we're going to only last hit, never killing above like very small HP thresholds, we're going to slowly accumulate more of our little minions to then have a massive amount of minions, maybe like 8 to 12 or more. And because we could do that, we can go ahead and roam, we can harass under the turrets, we can get plates, or we can get whatever else we want to get. And in doing so, we will be able to do or have complete control in the lane. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on. As you can see, he's not slow pushing actually, which is actually a little surprising. But I'm sure he has complete reasons. He probably just wants to get a ward down at this point. Oh. Yeah, he wants to get a ward down. It's fine. So this is also important in a different sense, but I wasn't considering it because I'm a noob at times. So essentially he wants to get wards down in either here or, well, no, absolutely the bot side because the dragon's up. And usually ward whichever side the objective is up, the neutral objective that is more likely to cause a fight is up. And he wants to get vision on this side of the map so he's able to have influence over the dragon or do whatever. So it is very correct to also do this. I think a slow push also works though. I think either option is completely fine. Alright, we're continuing on. He gets the poke on again. He tries to harass him, but the Victor this time doesn't walk right into his Q. And 8 to 6, easy counting. You can tell who's going to win this fight if they actually get into one. And now he's just trying to zone him as much as possible. Trying to kill on as low as HP totals as he can. And yeah. That minion is going to go his way. The other one will. But he's looking to harass him even harder. Keep him shoved under the turret. And just absolutely deny him the entire time. I am somewhat surprised to not see a slow push coming or not a bounce back into freeze though. Because potentially it may not work because maybe the Victor can roam and maybe I'm not considering something in higher ELOs. But essentially from my understanding and from what I've experienced, you can usually let this wave push back and not auto it and let it bunch up here. Or let it bunch up here, sorry. So it will push further and the reverse happens where it slow pushes against the Victor, which he doesn't want. And you can essentially freeze it back here and kill low minions off and keep the Victor from being able to even come up at all for any CS or any XP. But maybe I'm not considering something. Maybe it's because the Nidalee already showed that she could break freezes and is willing to break freezes, and that's why he won't do it. I'm not sure. But it's something worth noting that I think works. So we're going to just start harassing the turret and looking for harass on him. Little surprised he doesn't Q here. Up he does eventually. Doesn't matter, he gets it eventually. The Nidalee's over here and is inting back. They're going to get the kill pretty easily. And they're going to look for a little more. He gets double CC'd, but it's whatever. And he's just going to go back to harassing the Victor and absolutely dominating him. Oh, actually, he's going for plates. Still an important concept to actually get these plates and to get a gold lead. Like, in general, you want to develop a lead. And lower elos, it's usually killing an opponent, but getting a gold lead is absolutely fair as well. Whiffs on the Q here. It's okay. We can actually hear the Nidalee, even though we shouldn't in the SVOD. Yep, he's going to get a little more harass in while he keeps poking the turret. So a very key concept here, then I don't even believe that I do this remotely enough, is he's actually harassing this turret a lot. Like, even more than he's getting the Victor health down, which is where I usually would go, because I'm lower elo, and they let me do it very easily. But what's really important here is he's actually getting, what is this, 2 plates now? So that's 300 more gold. So he's essentially solo killed him again in terms of gold. And the turret is getting lower. And he potentially can get first turret, which helps his lanes out that aren't doing as well. So all this is pretty important to note. Anyways, let's go ahead and continue on. So we're going to go ahead and shove in once again. And these pings are actually from the enemy team, but whatever. We're going to continue to poke it. We can't really see the HP total, sadly. But yeah, it's fine. Yeah, we're going to get another plate, so we're 450 up. Oh, it's 160, so we're even more up than what I thought. I thought it was 150 each. I apologize, it's really not that important. The point is that it's a massive gold swing. And yeah, we're going to back with all these creeps under. The next wave is going to be a tank creep, which means it will shove back. If he can manage to shove back, he's only going to lose 1 to 2 creeps for it. Which, again, is just immaculate play. While I don't entirely agree with every decision he's made, I am likely in the wrong here because Showmaker is a world champion and I'm just a noob down here in Diamond Platinum area. Plus, I'm an A, so, you know, I'm automatically worse. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and shove in. It's fine. He's going to look for this, which they're pinging back. I don't even think that in Plat Elo or Gold Elo or anywhere below these Elos, they would even ping this that quickly. That was extremely fast. And right now he's just getting a bit of XP from this too, which just keeps pushing his lead. It's really nice to do what many people would be calling dirty farming here, where you would take these small creeps. Most likely these 3 camps are the ones you are to take, though, because going this deep is usually unsafe without this turret being gone. Ooh, that is something that should get done later. But yeah, essentially dirty farming will continue to get your CS up, which gets your gold up, which gets your XP up, which of course all leads to higher levels and you being absolutely a monster. We're going to go a little longer here before I cut off the video. You can pretty much see the writing on the wall here. Yeah, we could pretty much cut it right around here after this Nidalee gets killed one more time, you know? But, yep, there it is. We can watch Showmaker go off again. Let me guess. Double kill? Let me guess. Yep. It's over. So we can call it here. Let's go ahead and get a bit of keynotes from this. So from earlier in the game, the keynote was that we were pushing early on while looking for harass. Because of how we were doing it, we could never lose the fights because we are AD versus AP, and generally AD versus AP, the AD champion is going to win if he gets autos off. Autos being the right-click auto attacks. And AP champions are hindered to having to use abilities to even come close to matching the damage over time. Additionally, our spells do just as much as his spells, So this is even, but this is greater than his autos. So there's absolutely no reason for Victor to have gone into early fighting with Lucian, because Lucian is just going to wreck him if he's any good. That being said, it's up to the Lucian to also be good, but Showmaker is, well, a god. Anyways, outside of that, we got the harass out early. Very notably, we harassed Nidalee down, which was essentially the ending point of the lane, even more so than before. He set up the lane in a way where it was slow pushing to him, and he could just freeze it off with his TP, which is something I don't usually consider, but he did this with the TP to essentially create a lane state where the Victor cannot actually come up to here to get the minions, because the Lucian will just come up and stand here and win another trade on him and continue to just bully him out of the lane and continue to freeze here, creating a giant XP and a giant CS lead, which is a giant gold lead, and effectively a giant stat lead because of these two things. And in general, that is pretty much the tipping point of this lane, and something you guys will absolutely have to take into account when you play Lucian or pretty much any other mid lane champion, as this is a great example of how to get a lead in mid lane in general with a champion that has a lead early. Alright guys, I hope this was informative. I hope everything was good. If you need to ask any questions, please leave them down below. And if you would be so willing, I would appreciate some likes on this video or any sort of support you guys would be willing to send. I do my absolute best to get these content out weekly at the moment. And if you got any value from this, thank you so much for watching. Alright, see you guys.